Now that we have a functional application up and running, let's create a few basic components that will be used in. So the first thing that we are going to do here is clean it a bit, the default application. There are a lot of things that will be unnecessary from now on, like the app component here. The app.js content will completely change, so let's delete it and reorganize the files a little bit. First, we're going to create a CSS folder where all the CSS layouts will go, including the index.css here. And then we don't need the logo anymore, so we're going to delete it as well. And now is the time to create another folder. So I've called it page. And what this folder would do is essentially it will contain all the different pages of our website. So every new URL essentially will have a file inside of this folder. So the first one that we are creating is the home component. So this would be the home page of the user once they have authenticated themselves. So it should be a guarded page that will be only available after you have signed in. So here I'm just deleting unnecessarily CSS file or code. And this is the second component. So this page here will be the signing screen. So the form with email, password, and so this one would be available without being authenticated, obviously. And so once you have authenticated yourself on this one, you would be led automatically to the home page. So as part of our file system structure here, there is a new folder called component where all the components used by the pages will be located. So it's going to include the common components that can be reused throughout the app, or very specific ones that would be useful only for a specific page. The one that I'm using here is called banner, and it's going to be the header of the website, essentially, with a few navigation links, to go to the home page, etc., just so we can test out our different components. Note that for now there is no navigation system in place, so in order to make sure that these components are working, we can create the last folder in our architecture for now, which is the test folder, and then include a few tests just to make sure that the components are rendered correctly. So tests are a broad topic, and I would probably need another class in order to cover all of it. But what I'm doing here is just making sure that the components that we just created are rendered correctly as is. So the default create React app script include a test library called testing library, the React testing library, but you can see it here. And it would be executed with just the script npm test. So if you look into the package.json, you will see the script there. And that's what we are going to do right now. So here the render function is literally taking the components and then simulating it, just making sure that like loading it in a virtual DOM essentially, and then if it does not trigger any errors, it means that the component has been loaded successfully, and so we are good to go. Something useful to know here is that the npm test script will not replay the tests that from the files that have not been changed since the last time you executed the test. So it's for optimization and performance reasons. If a file hasn't changed, there is no need to rerun the test if the test was successful before, so it won't be replayed. So here, just to finish up, I'm going to include the banner in the app.js because this component should be visible from everywhere in the application, or at least the one that we are creating right now. So it makes sense to include it here. So this is the final cleanup, and now we have our basic components and we are good to go for the next step. See you there.